Well, hello. In this video, me and Juti will be talking a lot about PUBG's bots and how to improve them. It's a long ass video, and not everybody has the patience or the time to sit through an extensive talk about bots. So for those people who are running short on time or have just attention deficit disorders or something, follow this timestamp right here to get to a summary in the end where I try to sum up all the key points and bullet points that me and Juti discuss in this little podcast. That'll be all. Carry on. Well, I was thinking we could maybe discuss a thing in PUBG that the devs have added as a feature not very long time ago. Can you guess what it is?
Nope.
No? Okay. I don't remember what update it was. Was it 7.2? They added it into the game, bots, basically non-player people running around there. Have you noticed? Some of them are kind of bad.
I don't think I've ever noticed.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's surprising.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking we can maybe talk about that.
Yeah.
But like,
they are pieces of shit and should be removed from the game.
I'll write that up. Pieces of shit and should be removed from the game. All right.
Oh, and also,
the PUBG developers themselves should be banned for life for if they ever even think, like, even if they have like a tiny little inkling in their tiny little brains of like creating a new game or whatnot, just don't. They should be like banned from the whole fucking entire industry. Okay.
Man.
My typing skills are kind of bad, so I just wrote up devs banned. Is that okay with you? Is that good enough?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, realistically, I think because there's no point in bitching about the fact that the bots are in the game, because
true,
the devs put the bots in the game. They have spent man hours making the bots, and they have built them from the ground up. Somebody has spent a lot of hours making them, and they are very proud of these bots. Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
And as we know, the devs are proud of them, so are altogether very proud of everything they create, and they can't admit when something's bad. So I think the real thing here is that they should put more work into the bots, since like if they're clearly here to stay, they're gonna keep the bots no matter what the people say. There's no going around that. And there's no use in bitching like, taking that, we don't like him, So we could maybe try to think what should theoretically the devs do in order to make the bots better.
They don't have the skills in coding. They don't have the knowledge, they just don't possess what needs for them to be able to make them better in the game. Like at some point I said, like, it could be really good that they add bots into the game, but I said on a condition that they do it correctly. I just didn't I didn't specify what correctly should be or what it is, because I just didn't put like a whole lot of like thought to it. But at this point, what we have is that if we get anything else than Karkin or Angel, or sometimes Vikendi, it's like 50-50, we will have what, 60, 70, perhaps 80% of bots in the game. So on maps like, Sanhok, Miramar, Vikendi. Okay, sure. And another thing, the bots are dumb as shit, and everybody knows that they're bots. Okay, well, then they try to add like names to them so that we don't recognize them as bots anymore because they remove the underscores or whatnot. Sure, fine, they're still dumb as shit. And okay, yesterday I got like aimbotted by a bot. I don't know if that's really that good either, because they move like a bot. You expect them to be bad, and they just aim lock on you, and then they obliterate you and you die. I just don't think that they have like space in the game. And the only reason, like the only way that you could actually make them even remotely work is to put in the training mode. Put like a bot shooting range. Put like a little mini game there. Like, hey, these are bots. Click here to play. Then you have like what, 15 bots there behind, like coming behind from obstacles or whatnot. But they're not gonna do that. But from the game itself, it's just I can't, man. I can't.
Yeah, so I was thinking we could list out like problems with the bots, and I picked up a few from you. You said, yeah, you get aimbotted by them. That's like one of these, and that their logic is dumb as shit, quote, or actually end quote over there. And everybody knows they're bots. Well, I kind of disagree with that. Like when I see a person running, until I shoot at them, I don't know if they're bots. I would already want to know before that. Kind of like, I would wish that bots had like a freaking helmet that looked automatically so that, oh, that's a bot, and I'll just ignore it completely.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes there are players that seem like bots and they're like actual players, sure.
Yeah.
But like most of the time when I just know that's a bot lobby, I just assume everybody to be a bot. I just put my guard down.
Yeah. There's Felly said they appear out of nothing, always behind me, and such like that. I think that's also a problem. Like the devs are, they're super silent about the bots. They didn't even say in like the newest update when they put the bots, they didn't even say anything about the bots, if I don't remember wrongly. Like they should be very, very clear about the bots. Like for example, the fact that they do spawn in later in the game, so that there is bots later in the game to be killed. I think like that should have been established way before they even put the bots in. That's
one of the biggest problems that those devs have always had, is the transparency issue.
Yeah.
They do always some silent shit and they just don't tell about it, and they think that it's fine.
Yeah. And then exactly you said also about the bot lobby, so there's like 70% bots. I think they should make a safeguard in like the pre-game that it, like if you're matchmaking, it should tell you that, hey, there's not enough players to create a more than 50% players match. Do you wish to continue, or something like this, in my opinion.
I mean, they should just make it so that every single game that you play are maximum of 20 bots, and a card can like maximum of 10 or 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like seriously, if it's like 20 bots out of 100 players total, or like out of a lobby of 100 players, then it's like tolerable, and you don't necessarily meet them too much. Maybe in the early game, like a couple of them, maybe once in a while, mid to late game, and that would be dealt with it. Because I always said there's gonna be one thing that I said was that there's gonna be an issue if they just add too much of them to one game.
Yeah.
And that's just what they did, or they just made it like completely arbitrary, because nobody even understands the algorithms, how the quick join works, how the maps are being created, where players, like there's clearly players on the EU server during like daytime. All of a sudden you might be joining a random ass Miramar match. You're excited for a moment. Oh my god, I'm getting a Miramar. I might have like it's like 4 or 5 p.m. in early in the evening. There has to be like real players here, like 80 of them, and then like only 20 bots. You played the game for 10 minutes and you like a top right, and there's like 91 players alive.
Yeah.
And you just wonder like, what the fuck went wrong again? Like, why?
Yeah. My first stream, was it a Saturday? Yeah, it was a Saturday. It was 8 days ago. On a Saturday, 5 o'clock, Saturday evening, and I had a 76 player lobby like in one of my first matches. 70. What did I say? Did I say player lobby? 76 bots in a lobby in a Sanok game. So that kind of makes me want to just leave the match often. You mentioned about that, basically training mode, so that they would be a good thing to be implemented into training mode.
Well, better at least.
Yeah, It's kind of weird that they haven't. Like, it's just logical. If you had people running completely perpendicular at a 45-degree angle and at different distances, you could actually train the lead. Like, that's the issues. Like, they're supposed to be because of the inexperienced players, and they're supposed to be training, and they're exactly not training.
Yeah.
So the training mode point is a good one, my opinion. Especially when, like, often, like, the newest players have probably the biggest problem with a moving target, in my opinion, when it comes to. So that would be, like, perfect training. And then more on the fact that they could be training is exactly the issue that their movement patterns are idiotic.
Yeah, pretty much.
You see somebody running, you shoot at it, it stops. It flicks 180, starts running back into the same place. It throws prone right there, out in the open, and starts healing. So in my opinion, a very good thing would be to improve their movements. Like, maybe, like, add, like, real player macros. Look like how real people play. Like, if it's behind a tree, it actually leans and it moves and it jiggle peaks and does quick movement like that. And then maybe even actually lower its aiming capabilities so that it's giving a good movement practice, but it doesn't hit you, it doesn't, like, aimbot you instantly. Just, like, the shooting can be completely horrible as long as its movement is good, in my opinion. This is what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, the movement definitely should be better, like a whole lot better. It just doesn't, it just doesn't do a whole lot. When you start shooting at a bot, you miss your leading shots, so they just stop. Then it's like an easy shot, and it's like every single fight with the bot is the same.
Yeah.
And essentially just learn nothing in the end.
Like, the fact that they don't lean is already, like, a huge red flag, in my opinion. At least I don't, to my knowledge, know that they lean at all, or lean peak.
No, they don't. So.
Yeah.
Although, when you're like a new player, if you think about it, when you're like a new player, you don't probably, like, imagine if you're starting to play PUBG in like 2020. Like, the first thing you're going to think about is definitely not whether or not a person that you're facing 1v1, whether or not they're, like, leaning. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking about, like, a million other things because you're just learning the game with like 10 or 20 or 50 hours in the game.
Well, yeah. You don't really think about leaning yourself, but if we're thinking about the bots as training for these people who have just started playing, wouldn't it be realistic to have a bot leaning?
True.
So when it comes against Juti in a real match, and Juti goes jiggle, peek, left, right, he's like, wait a minute. Because that's the way when their movement is horrible, they get accustomed that they think, like, this is how people move. And then there comes Juti along with drive-bying them. And then that's how you get people like Mithream, who just report everybody who kill them because they think, like, they're hacking or something.
But in all honesty, they in the very beginning, when they probably realized that they're going to be a huge success after they, like, crossed, like, what, 20 to 30 million buy mark, and especially after they crossed, like, what, 50 or 60 million buys, they should have realized that their number one focus after that point is not to attract, like, more new players anymore into the game. They have to do everything in their power to entertain and keep the current player base.
Yeah, retain the player base. Yeah, CS bots, never played CS, so my argument is completely mute. Not gonna say anything.
I've seen, like, not in FPS games, but in, like, other games when there are, like, bots, they have like a built-in coding that I don't know, simulates artificial intelligence and whatnot, and they actually like learn from like actual player patterns. I was actually watching a video maybe like a week or two ago. And there was some coder coded like a neural network to bot or some shit like that, and it was like a very very advanced code, and it learned everything from like the actual players, and eventually like self-learned everything from the actual players, and eventually like became better than the actual players. I just can't remember like what
became a god among men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's some Terminator shit right there already, taking over the world in CS. One thing that we haven't basically talked about at all is the bots basically giving out your position. Like, even if it is, like, if it's a new player and the new player fights a bot, then a old player comes and realizes, oh, there's people, then they push there, and then the newbie gets wrecked because of the bot, because he was fighting a bot. And then if you have, like, regular players just playing against each other, and then a bot comes in there as a third party, takes somebody's attention, and they flick there, and then the bot might even do damage to the other person, and that's the reason why you end up losing a fight. I think that is a problem.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Any ideas on how to fix it?
No, I was just about to say that I, in all honesty, I just don't know how that's like even possible to like sort of fix, I guess.
I was thinking,
it's just like, you know, it's like, if you think about it, you know, it's just like kind of like a regular third party situation, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're having a 1v1 with somebody, and there could easily be like another person who's like actually legit, but this time it's just a bot. And you just get mad at the bot because you just know that the odds are that it probably wouldn't be able to kill you, but you die because of it, because you have to reveal your location. You probably could have won the 1v1 with the actual player. So just get mad at the bot. But I mean, what's your idea? You were about to say something?
Yeah, I was just thinking that since, again, we're addressing the fact that the bots are supposed to be helping the newbie players, they should not be like, for example, if they spawn in, they have a radius, like a certain, like a diameter around them. And basically, if like it's running, like let's say it's in Sanok and it's in south side of the boot camp on the shit show hill. If within like a certain radius, there are like two real players, and they're like, you have the like, what's it called, your battle level on those ID cards, you know, you're level 500 and it's the cap. And if that circle detects that there's like 2 500 level players, it will stand down. It will not go and try to frag them, because they're not new players. They don't need the bots. So like, initially the bots, in my opinion, should avoid good players, if that's the wrong way to say.
Yeah, that's a decent idea, actually. I don't think that would be too hard to code, even, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, it doesn't seem too hard, but apparently for PUBG, it just is too hard. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, I don't like just because they don't communicate, we just don't know what they think, like what their like ideology is, like what they like. They just don't communicate enough, so it's impossible to like actually understand them, like what they think themselves and how they picture it in their tiny little brain.
Sure, again, it's useless for us to like think about this fact if you think, because we are in the Western culture and they're trying to please the Eastern culture. So for all we know, in China they love these bots over the top. Like,
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
I don't know. And in addition to it not trying to attack, if it finds other big players, like level 500 players, and also they should, since they're already just spawning in instead of all parachuting, they should probably spawn near the new players that are not near high level players, so they don't give out.
Wait, did they stop parachuting at some point?
No, they still, actually, now that I think about it, I don't remember seeing a single bot fall down. Maybe they updated like their parachuting mechanics that you don't see them falling down like idiots.
Yeah,
because I haven't like seen.
I used to, because I used to see them as well, but now I just haven't paid attention, to be honest.
Yeah,
I never watch anymore. Like, who lands with me? I just don't do that anymore.
I know the feeling.
I don't care. Yeah.
But like since they're spawning in, they might as well just spawn into like far away from older players, experienced players, and more closer to the lower matchmaking rating players. That's my thought. But yeah, these are a few good points. Add bots to training mode. That would be a good one. Actually having them run sideways perpendicular 45 angles. Get good lead training. Even like you don't even have to be a new player to have good training out of that. In my opinion, like I'd go trying K9 headshots right away. Learn to lead.
True. I would never do that, but true.
Yeah, well, you're a legend. Not everybody's a legend. And
I can't lead for shit with a sniper, dude.
no. Well, maybe you should then go to the training mode to shoot them bots that they are most certainly gonna add into the training mode.
Yeah. Cap.
How about the shooting? Like, how accurate are they? What do you said that you got some of them aimbotting you? Is that a common problem?
I mean, the first time I died to a bot was yesterday. That was the first time that it happened.
How was it? Like, how far was it?
No, it wasn't far. It was like from like one house to another, maybe like 10 meters or whatnot. But they've always like, it was one of those situations where I just walked up and I'd been standing there for a while. I'm not sure if it was walling me through something or not.
Lesson learned.
I was just, running my mouth business, just talking to chat, and his its AK was on single mode. It changed it to auto mode, aimed. I was dead within 8 bullets. I think it hit me 5 times to the legs or something, and then instantly just switched back to single and went to loot me.
Wait a minute, he shot you from house to house and he only shot you in the feet. Were you like in a lower floor or something?
No, but the distance was like house to house. So
Okay.
we were both like outside. I was just running.
Ah, okay. That makes more sense then. I don't know, I think their aiming level, like how much they hit is good. Kind of like when you fight them, like if it's a completely new player, they get completely flustered and panicked when they get hit. So I think it's good the amount they hit. Like I haven't had the problem that they've killed me. Only times when I've been close to getting killed by a bot is when I go into melee range, just then they suddenly get like one lucky shot. That's like in the head.
Or maybe they did exactly what you said that they should do, but just reversed. They have a radius now. They detect like, I don't know, maybe not like the level of your ID card, but maybe like, I don't know, KD ratio or some shit. And they're like, oh god, this is a 4 KD player, man. Aimbot activated.
Yeah. So it's basically a target specific level.
Yeah. No, but seriously, like yesterday there was a lot of bots actually that actually hit shots. Like a lot of shots. Like I've been hit by a bot before, but like even like 3 shots. It wasn't that uncommon anymore. Like it just definitely felt like some of that's changed.
I don't know.
Not for the better.
Maybe I just need to get a better KD if this is the situation.
Like seriously, like it's just like if they actually would make them like aim harder at like better players, it just would make like it would make me want to quit the game rather than be like more angry, like, oh, I gotta be better, man. Like, no.
Yeah.
This is I really hope that they didn't actually do that, but they did hit some insane shots yesterday. A couple times.
Well, I don't know. They said that the AI is still learning. But yeah, I think they should basically add like kind of jiggle peeking to their, I don't know, like macro cycles or something, so that they do actually mimic realistic movement. The shooting can be just as bad as it is. Keep it there. That's my opinion. Because I haven't gotten wrecked, but you apparently have gotten wrecked by them. Like, not wrecked, but you know, getting a few bullets.
I get wrecked once at least, you know?
Yeah.
No, but it's, yeah. They definitely should keep it like max of 1 to 2 hits. Just make like people panic or whatnot a little bit, like worried about their lives, but they need to kill the bot fast and like get the cover and whatnot, like heal themselves up. Just don't kill the player with the bot.
There's a lot of controversy regarding the should you know it's a bot or not. With the current state of bots, I want to know a bot right away. When I see somebody running, I want to see the first. I'd like give them make a fucking antenna in their head and just so I can ignore it. That's my opinion. But if they do up their like movement and such, then I don't mind. Like then I don't mind if I don't know if it's a bot or not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't want to. I kind of don't even want to give my opinion whether or not like I would like to know whether or not they're a bot beforehand or not, because I just want them removed from the main game so bad.
Oh, okay.
I really like it. It seriously does not matter to me. I don't literally care whether or not I know that it's a bot or not. They still suck too hard that they're just ruining the experience for me.
Alright.
So I just literally don't care.
No. Well, I understand your point. Like back in the day, over 3 years ago, when I bought the game, I didn't buy the game because it had bots in it. I bought the game because I wanted to play a game where it's people versus people on an island killing each other, and you gotta be number one. That's what I paid for. That's kind of what I want. So I understand completely your point there. Like fuck a bots. But as we're here talking, the bots seem to be staying. So that's kind of the point of the whole talk here. Because there's no point, in my opinion, just bitching about things like. If you like can't change anything, there's no point in complaining. What's the point in complaining if nothing changes?
I know there's not. And I completely realize that myself, but it is still something like no matter how much you do not complain about it and you just keep it inside, it still affects you. And affects your mood, affects your overall like feelings about the game, feelings about the everything. And eventually, like for example for me, if I'm gonna have like a really bad day, and if I would have like let's say like I would stream like in 1 week I would stream like 5 times. If every single one of them would suck, like the whole stream, like the games in the stream would like suck just because of the bots, I might just quit the game. Like I would literally just uninstall the game and just like absolutely snap and just not touch the game ever again.
Yeah.
Like I can completely see that happening. Of course I enjoy playing, like of course I enjoy playing it when there's like actual players and I'm doing good and otherwise like in a good mood and whatnot. But like ignoring it, sure. You save yourself and others, as a streamer, like others from like a lot of like complaining and bitching and moaning, of course. But you still feel the same way.
Yeah.
That doesn't change.
It doesn't change, yeah.
Just keep it in.
Then again, of course, you gotta kind of bring out opinion, because if you think they ruined the game, you gotta bring out your opinion in the best possible way so that the devs well, how do you say? Well, yeah. Well, they kind of get to know that people.
What do you mean by best possible way?
Well, like the bitching and moaning, like in the way, like if you take a example as a like Wacky Jackie, he was acting like a little child, to be realistic, in the beginning about the bots. That wasn't a very constructive way to give your opinion about the bots.
But I mean. But at the same time, we have to understand what we're talking about. Like we're talking about like PUBG developers, and over the years, people have given them like tons of streamers who quit the game years ago, gave like a lot of chances, a lot of feedback, a lot of like constructive feedback, and in addition to that, they specifically asked the opinion of pro players, like the whole community of pro players, what needs to be done with the game. They gave their feedback. They gave like everything that they had to say. And what did the PUBG devs do? Absolutely nothing. So I think after like 3 years of ignorance, I think people are more or less fed up. More or less like, okay, this is a game that could have been something. This is a game that could have been like really, really good if done well. And the hardcore fans, so to speak, I guess I belong to that category because I'm still like playing it and shit in 2020. I just like ultimately just disappointed and just frustrated, and just frustration is just like non-constructive criticism nowadays. It just doesn't matter what you give the PUBG because it was just ignored.
Yeah, that's true also. Good point. Do you come up with any other points when it comes to bots? Like what are kind of problems towards them? We came up with like movement, their logics, their basically the devs talking about them, like transparency being an issue. Do you have any other kind of like, what kind of like specific problems do you come across when it comes to bots Is there anything?
I mean, I think that just covers the major issues already.
Yeah.
I mean, I just stopped thinking about it after like those major major issues have been like acknowledged. So I haven't like put a lot of thought in like what the problems are and like how to fix them or not, because it's really hard for them to do, and I just don't believe believe in them anymore, and them being the developers.
Devs, yeah.
So yeah, I don't really have anything else, man. I just don't.
You're losing your passion for PUBG. I feel bad. Well, that's a good point to end this on. I put on recording for our chat on, so I think this is a good low point to end that recording.
Yeah.
Hi. Good chat. Good chat.
Very good.
Whew. Well, now that was a long ass talk right there. Now, to summarize all the key points that me and Juti went through, let's sort out a few. First, to improve the bots, boost their movement. Their movement is bad. They don't lean. They stop moving when you start shooting them. It ties into their AI, so boost their movement. Have them jiggle peek if they take cover. Have them peek around the corner. Have them peek from the other side. Boost the movement. The current movement is just not good enough. And also improve the AI. That goes a lot into the movement as well. When they're running and you shoot at them, they stop. Then they flip 180 and run to the other direction. They might flip 180 and run back to the first direction. And then when they get hurt, they often throw prone and start healing out in the middle of nowhere. Why? Fix this. There's no point in that. One thing, me and Juti were considering that you should have preventions that they can't kill players. Bots have killed players, and bots actually, I've seen a clip where a bot won a game. Good job. Good job, bot. Good job. They should not be able to do that. Most important point out of all is probably put the bots in the training mode. This seems so simple. That why are they not in the training mode? They put it they put the bots into the game so that they will be training for the new players. They're not in the training mode. Why? Why aren't they in the training mode? And now that they're training for the low-level players, have them spawn near lonely little low-level players so that they actually go where they're intended. The usage works correctly. In addition to this, have them avoid high MMR players. If, like in the center of the circle, there are two high-level players playing, the bot should be able to detect that. Okay, I don't go there. And then it does the 180 and runs away. That's the right move, in my opinion. And keep the bot aiming bad. If its movement is good and its aiming is bad, it is good training, because then you actually get aim training in the progress. And it works. And then, as a few bonus points, PUBG devs should up the information. The bots spawn in, and that's something that they should have established before. Their movements and things, they should be 100% clear on what happens with the bots. And no more silences in terms of updates. No silent updates. Transparency. And prevent bot lobbies. Today, before I filmed this thing, I ended my stream on a chicken dinner where I got 17... No. Oh, what am I saying? I ended my stream on a game where there were 79 bots. I killed 7 real players, 7 bots. Got a chicken dinner out of that. And I'm not satisfied with being in a game with 79 freaking bots. This can't happen. last point, what Juti wanted to say is apparently ban the devs from creating any more games. That was just Juti being toxic. Who gives a shit? But nonetheless, with these points, the bots, since they're gonna be here to stay, might as well try to put more manpower into the capabilities of the bots, so to say. But hey, that was it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. And the music here is Harris Heller. Ocularium. So, thank you for your attention. And see you next time.